Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the Halloween weather forecast, the potential maybe for some storms, maybe even some severe weather like strong wind gusts, potentially an isolated tornado or two. And I just want to say before I start that I'm kind of experiencing some technical difficulties with my screen recording, so there might be a few things different. For example, I don't have the drawing pen which I usually have with me today, but I'll get started anyway. So as usual, I'll start with the Met Office surface pressure chart, and you can see that this is kind of for the early morning on Sunday, with this low pressure system out to the west of the UK, with an included front and a cold front and a warm front, and this will be kind of moving towards UK and Ireland during the day. This is by 12 o'clock, and you can see the isobars are relatively tight with some strong winds, and then where these fronts are, we will have some precipitation, some rain, and especially along this cold front, we could be looking out for some severe weather in places, and we do actually have some warnings out for this weather. This is Sunday, as you can see. I'll start off with the one in northeast Scotland, and you can see we could see an area of heavy rain accompanied with strong winds, and this is going to fall on saturated ground, so it could lead to some flooding or surface water flooding or small river flooding, and the rain will ease by late afternoon, but there could be some prolonged impacts from heavy showers. And as you can see, it has a medium likelihood and a low impact, so kind of your typical yellow warning. And then we have one across southwest Scotland, northwest England, and northwest Wales, where we could see 20 to 30 millimetres in some locations, and then also from showers an additional 20 to 30 millimetres in some locations. And this could kind of create some large totals on top of some recent heavy rainfall. And also we could see some strong winds for a time, and on top of the recent heavy rainfall, some actually very intense rainfall early this week, we could see some flooding in places, and this has again a medium likelihood and low impact, so kind of your typical yellow warning. And then again, we have one across the south. This is the largest one: South Wales, Southwest England, Southeast England, and Southern England. And you can see we're going to see a band of rainfall, with some locations seeing 20 to 30 millimetres of rainfall within a short time. And then we also could see some strong wind gusts into the 40s for many, maybe even between 50 and 60 miles an hour. And this could cause some additional disruption, so we might need to watch out for that. And if I get into the forecast now, this is the UKV weather model from theweatheroutlook.com. I'll put the link in the description. It's a great site for kind of viewing weather data, and where these colours are, that shows precipitation, and where this kind of white wispy stuff is, that's cloud. Quite self-explanatory. And you can see this is for the early morning on Sunday, and we have that cold front kind of moving through parts of Ireland, and as it makes its way east further as the day goes on, you can see we actually do get some quite heavy precipitation at times. These will be accompanied by strong wind gusts, rogue wind gusts, possibly even severe wind gusts. I'll get into this on the second half of the video in a bit more detail, but we will see some very strong shear along the front, which means that we do have a heightened chance for some severe weather. And you see this makes its way east through the day, kind of reaching parts of central England and Scotland by 8 o'clock. And then again, we looking for this kind of line convection. This will be around 10 o'clock, and it starts to clear eastern England and Scotland by the afternoon, with some kind of quite heavy showers and at times moving through, and quite cloudy at times. So by the time you're doing your Halloween trick-or-treating, especially across Wales, the Midlands, parts of Scotland and Ireland, it could be quite wet, really, as you can see here, if you are doing your trick-or-treating actually. But then also we do actually have to watch out for some strong winds. As you can see, this is for Sunday morning, and like I said, ahead of that cold front, we could see isolated gusts, which are quite high, as you can see here, 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, but 40 miles an hour more widely. And because the trees are in full leaf, this could cause kind of some extra disruption. And then notice we have those strong winds kind of these strong winds here, moving into parts of Wales, Southern Ireland, as you can see here, and the Midlands. And this might cause some disruption if you're trick-or-treating, because like 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts could be a bit windy during kind of that trick-or-treating time. So stay safe, maybe under any trees. And to get an idea of how strong the winds might be, we could look at the Met Office ensembles, again from theweatheroutlook.com, and you can see gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour in London seem like quite a good possibility. And then Moving further north in Glasgow, we can see gusts of kind of 30 to 40 miles an hour in places, sorry, not 40, 30 miles an hour or so. Quite good confidence on that. And then in the middle, in Birmingham, we will see a first peak of kind of 40 mile an hour gusts during the mid-morning with that strong cold front. And then we could see a secondary peak, 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts kind of through the trick-or-treating time. So be careful of that. Now I'm going to get more detail about the kind of severe weather kind of things, strong wind gusts, tornadoes, and I do think there is a chance for both of these. And if you just run this through, you can see maybe what I'm talking about. This is the Arrow model, by the way, on WX charts, and I kind of made a graphic on my Twitter account. This is what it is, and you can see in this red area we have to watch out for an isolated tornado potential, and then this kind of black hatched area look out for a higher tornado threat than kind of the surrounding areas. Maybe one, maybe even two or three tornadoes could be a possibility tomorrow. Don't be surprised, and it's because of a few things here. And the first thing you notice looking at the kind of the synoptics, the kind of the overall setup, this is going into more detail here, by the way, is to have a very strong low level jet. Look at that, 45 to 55 reaching on at 60 knots here, and that has automatically creates a lot of low level shear, creates a lot of kind of storm relative helicity. And what happens, as you can see here, is we have ahead of this cold front lots of warm air advection, that's in the blue, and this automatically kind of creates a veering of the wind profiles, and coupled with this strong low level jet, which also can bring these strong winds to low levels through convection, for example, a school line, makes some pretty impressive kind of wind fields, if you like, or hodographs. And you can see this is one for the GFS at 9 o'clock. This is by the way, this is kind of in central southern England. Sorry, you can see that through the red line, the 0 to 3 kilometer kind of section of the atmosphere, we have a very strongly curving, veering hodograph, as you can see like this. And this has got a lot of low level shear and a lot of low level helicity. Look at that, almost 500 in the 0 to 1 kilometer layer. And this is quite favorable for tornadoes in a UK setup like this. And also with these very strongly curving hodographs, you also have something called streamwise vorticity, which really helps in kind of the tornado genesis process. And it's quite kind of mysterious what kind of the different things lead to in UK kind of tornado genesis processes. But this is very interesting and certainly can be a factor which supports kind of the formation of one or two isolated tornadoes, and especially with that due southerly low-level jet at kind of 60 knots, maybe even a bit higher, that definitely can bring down those stronger gusts to lower levels in the school line. So we could see some isolated 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts, as well as, like I said, tornadoes. And you can see here, this is the Arrow model, and you've got the same very, very strongly veering profile, a lot of low-level shear, a lot of low-level helicity and streamwise vorticity. Again, the kind of the same ingredients you really need to see for one or two, maybe even three tornadoes. And another thing to watch out for is, this is a UKV weather model from Network TV, by the way, is maybe kind of some sort of mesoscale feature or surface flow developing like this, which could enhance the backing of the low-level wind field or the surface wind field, which then enhances the veering of the vertical wind field like this. And that could enhance potential for tornadoes even more. And kind of, it's not a really well-known thing, but these kind of sort of features in the past have known to be prolific producers of severe weather, whether that's strong wind gusts or isolated tornadoes. So if one of these forms, watch out, because it could, don't be surprised to see like some sort of severe wind gust or tornadoes sort of stuff in the news. And talking about severe wind gusts, or this high resolution model, we could be seeing isolated rogue strong wind gusts here on the order of maybe out to sea 70 miles an hour, and then as we get further inland, maybe kind of 50 to 60 mile an hour isolated strong wind gusts, potentially even higher in the channel where there's kind of less friction. It's kind of just an open plane. And another thing to look out for is kind of the convective mode, if you like, along the school line, but we could be seeing kind of some line segments forming, and these have been known to kind of be areas of enhanced low-level rotation, and they can really take advantage of the very strongly sheared low-level environment and occasionally produce tornadoes. This is the best way we get tornadoes here in the UK, at least notable ones, and so it's definitely something to watch out for. That's why I've got this graphic. And yeah, so don't be surprised to see something like that on the news. It's not a guarantee, I'm just trying to highlight the risk, and I have an update on my Twitter and maybe my Instagram as well tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching, everyone.